A lot of pillar cards is the name of this die set, and it describes perfectly what you can make with it. Hello, and welcome to my first YouTube video as part of the Crealies design team. I am Karen Hashik of Karen's Creative Cards, and I have been a fan of Crealies dies for quite some time now, and I'm thrilled to be sharing cards with these dies on my YouTube channel as well as on the Crealies YouTube channel. The August release at Crealies is full of unique, gorgeous dies, but the one that intrigued me the most was this set called A Lot of Pillar Cards. It's a simple die set. The main piece cuts and scores each one of the pillars, and then there are two sets of layering dies included. But just look at what can be done with this die set. I started with a single column card. Just look at how pretty this is. It stands up for display, and it has a single pillar that you can bridge with anything you might want to, and I chose to use the new Varia butterfly and also Happy Birthday to bridge across the single column pillar card. You can also triple them up. So all the dies that you see here, of course, are from Crealies, and most of them are from the new release. There's that beautiful butterfly again. In this case, I made a triple tiered column pillar card. You can see the three different pillars here as well as the layers. On the back, I added an oval cut with the new ovals with wonky lines. I just love these extra large die sets, and those wonky double stitched lines just add such interest. So this is a triple layered pillar card that I made. Now all the details on all the cards that I share will be on my blog, and of course there's links in the description box to all the dies that I used, as well as to those blog posts. So here's another way to use this unique die set. You can make an easel with a double layer of pillars, see, and then this becomes an easel card. This is another of the new dies. This is the large swallowtail set, and I created an easel with the pillars and made this pretty card. Happy Hello is on the front. How about doubling up the pillars to make a double column card? Now all of these cards lay flat to mail, and then they pop up to stand up for display. I used that same pretty oval stitched die set for the front of this that bridges across the two pillars there. This background was created with a stencil from Crealies, and then on the back I used that same oval, this time with a silver layer and a white layer, and that's where I would write a message. Here's another unique card for a coffee lover. Look what pops up when this opens. Isn't that fun? Another double layer of the pillars creates a pop-up element on the inside that I put a Starbucks gift card in for the birthday girl, and then added a couple candles that pop up as well. Now this idea came from Sam of Mixed Up Crafts, but I thought it was just too cute to have a gift card and candles pop up on the inside of the card. The first thing that I do when I get a new die set that creates pop-up or fun fold cards is to make a template with paper I don't care about. And I write down all the measurements and any notes I want to keep. And then I keep this template so I can refer to it. But I thought I would also share it with you. Now, as I showed you, all of these can lay flat. In this case, I put these pillars going this way and these pillars going this way, and it fits into a 5x7 envelope, so it would be very easy to mail. And this is the size that I used for this card here. I also use that same size for the single column, but the triple one is the template that I created. So to make it fit easily into a 5x7 envelope, the main piece that you cut out is 6.5 inches tall. So you can make your pillars any height you want. But when I did the triple layer and also the single layer, I went ahead and used the whole 6.5 inches of this main piece. And so this one is 6.5 inches tall, and I made it 4.25 inches wide, which are these main pieces that you attach it to. And so again, it's going to fit into a 5x7 envelope very easily. The second layer that I did was 4.5 inches tall and 4.25 inches wide. And the third was 2.25 tall and 4.25 wide. So all of them are 4.25 wide. And then you just cut your pillars to match the sizes of those three layers. Okay, now I'm going to show you one very similar to this, only it's going to be a square orientation, and I'll show you step by step. I'm in the card that I'm going to make step by step with you. I am also using the new Cardzz die called Frame and Inlay Beth Diamond. So this makes really neat quilt-like pieces. And then I'm also using the With Love, which is a sentiment die from Crealies, and of course the A Lot of Pillars cards. So those are the dies that I'm going to use. So here's the template for the square version that I'm going to show you step by step. So the back piece that I have already cut is 5 by 5. The second piece is 3 by 5, and the front piece is 1.5 by 5. Now keep in mind that you can make these whatever size you want. Maybe you want to put a sentiment across here and you need it either bigger or smaller than 1.5. This die set can make pillar cards any size you basically want, as long as it fits into an envelope. In my case, I'm using a square envelope, which is, I believe, 6 by 6, so this will easily fit into there. So you cut out the main piece 3 times, and that's what you create the pillars with. So I have started putting some of these together. The largest one is 5 inches tall. So I cut out the main die piece 3 times, because on some of these can be cut down a little bit. So I cut that out 3 times. And you fold on all the scored lines, and you put a piece of good strong 2-sided tape on the shorter side. So these, there's one side that is just a little bit shorter. And then if you fold it down flat and then fold this over, that's all it takes to create a pillar. On the back, I usually look and see where the seam is. It doesn't really matter, but sometimes that seam isn't quite straight, so I'll make this the back, and I'm going to put a piece of the good strong 2-sided tape on the back. Then I have cut a bunch of this, the stitched layering die. The other one is just fine. I just happen to really love stitches. And because if these pieces are shorter than the 7.5, there is a stitched end on here. So what I'm going to do is attach this with that stitched end coming off, and the stitches will just be on the side. So down the center with that stitched end just coming off just a little bit. I am putting a layer of a pretty polka dotted blue. And then just trimming it off. So the layers on this one goes all the way to the end. It isn't really straight. Do you think I can straighten that out a little bit? Oh, guess not. That's okay. Alright, so I have my 3 main pieces and I have all my pillars created. So I am going to attach the largest pillars to the sides of the 5x5 piece that is the back of the card. On the back of this, I've already attached a square, one of the new dies that was also just released. This is the square with the wonky lines. So again, it has that really cool stitching on there, and that's where I'll sign the card. So I'm going to remove the cover of the strong two-sided tape, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to attach it flush to the side of this back piece. And that side is ready to go. And then I'm going to take the other longer piece, and again these are 5 inches tall to match the size of this piece here, which is 5x5. I'm going to attach this also flush to the end of these pieces, and our first pillars are attached. Next I have a piece that is 3x5, and that's going to get attached on here. And what you do is you lay this flat and you're attaching it to that front piece, again flush to the edge. And then you also lay this one flat, and you're attaching it to, because you want it to lay flat to male, to the front, and if it hangs over a little bit, we'll just trim it. A little bit hanging over. So that's ready to go. I am going to decorate this. I showed you that quilt looking die, and I just think it's a really neat look. It's a square with a whole bunch of layers. So what I'm doing is I have different colors of blue, and I've attached the first main piece to a piece of sticky two-sided paper. So I am going to attach these other blue layers right inside. It's kind of like a puzzle. So then I have these corner pieces, and I am going to use glue dots to attach these. No, I don't need glue dots for that. I need it for something else. Okay. Yeah, that's still sticky, so I can just slide these in the corners. And then this piece will get attached with some glue dots. And that goes in the center there. And then there are also stitched triangles that can go on top. So I have completed one using those monochromatic blue heart colors. I have the main piece, and then in the corners we have some more stitched pieces, and then on the center of that I have With Love. So that is going to be the decoration on this card, and I am going to put it, attaching it with tape to the bottom half only. Make sure the words are the right way. I think this quilt Beth die could be used in so many different ways, and I know I'm going to be experimenting with it, but for this card I used monochromatic blue heart colored paper to make a pretty quilt to decorate this card. So I am going to center it and attach it to that layer, and that is ready to go. And then we're going to put our pillars on the next set. This one got goofed up a little bit, so I have orange tape on top of, but I got it. I salvaged it even though I had made a mistake with it. So once again we're going to go all the way flush to the side and attach another set of pillars. So there is our second set of pillars, and then we have a third bridge that is 1.5 by 5, and this one is also going to be attached. If I can get this piece off. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is to get the cover off. So laying it flat again, going all the way to the side, laying this flat, and then seeing if I need to trim any here, but I really don't. That one's good, I think. I'm going to put these pillars on, and then I'm going to put one more decorative piece on. These are the front pillars, and these are 1.5 by 1.5 tall. So So you can see sometimes you put something on top of your side pillars, and then in this case we are not going to put anything on top of those side pillars. But I decided it would be fun to take another one of those quilt pieces and attach it on the front here. As just another decorative piece, and I just cut it in half. So I made another quilt with the blue hearts monochromatic look, and I am going to attach this centered, hopefully. Does that look centered? As just another decorative piece. So we have the Beth quilt square with love on the center to decorate the whole thing, and then another half of one down there. We have our pretty triple pillars. It stands up for display. It lays flat to mail. And then on the back we have another pretty square piece that I can write a message to the person who is receiving this. I had great fun finding all sorts of ways to make lots and lots of pillar cards, and I hope my cards inspire you to give some of these ideas and dies a try.